She was one of the first politicians in the district to come out and say that the mayor should step down some 18 months ago, I think. Muriel Bowser, councilwoman from Ward 4, wants to be the mayor, running second in the polls right now. Muriel Bowser, thanks for joining us.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
Pretty good. So, yeah, you saw the story, of course, that broke this week, the unbelievable plea deal that we saw there that took about 4 hours to read. You saw the mayor last night. What do you think? He's laying it out there. Who are you going to believe?
Well, I think that the voters of the District of Columbia really want to get past this scandal and corruption, and people are encouraged that the U.S. attorney is moving in that direction.
But there's no indictment of the mayor. The mayor says he didn't do anything. There may have been scandal around his campaign, which he acknowledged. He says he asked for this investigation. So if he's not being indicted, should he be judged based on the actions of people around him?
Yes, and I don't know who's being indicted. And I think what we heard the U.S. attorney say is that this is the tip of the iceberg.
What do you think that means? Because, I mean, that was sort of an interesting thing that he said. It's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yes, I think it's, and certainly this has been a 3-year investigation. I'm not the prosecutor, I'm not the judge or the jury, so I won't be the one who decides. But I think all of what was detailed in that statement of offense was really the worst kind of corruption, where the allegations are that there was illegal under-the-table money given in exchange for a sweetened government contract. And that's exactly the type of leadership that people don't want for our state.
All right, but you acknowledge that you have accepted money from the man that they call Uncle Earl, Jeffrey Thomas, this businessman. You have accepted money from him for your campaigns.
Oh, nothing like what's being described here. All the contributions that our campaigns have accepted from Jeff Thompson are completely above board and reported reported to the Office of Campaign Finance.
But when you took those campaign finance donations from Uncle Earl, did you ever think that was there ever any quid pro quo? I'm going to need your vote on this. I'm going to need your vote on that. When that contract comes up, I need your support.
Absolutely not. In fact, when Vince Gray got in office a couple of months, he came to the council to ask to sweeten the deal, to increase the contract for Jeff Thompson. And I cast a no vote on that contract. I knew then that it didn't smell right, that it didn't look right, and it was not right, and I didn't support it.
Muriel Bowser, we are 3 weeks away from the April Fool's Day primary. You are running second behind Mayor Gray. We have not seen any polling, though, since this stunning announcement earlier in the week. What do you expect to happen in the race? Do you think that Mayor Gray should step out of the race now, given all of the corruption surrounding him?
Well, for us, nothing has changed. I always believed that that the residents deserved a mayor that they could trust, that they wouldn't have to ask these questions about, and that's why we got into this race a year ago. We've always believed in the last several weeks that we've closed the gap in all 8 wards across the city, and I firmly believe that we're going to be the campaign that can beat them, and that's what my message is to everybody out there. It's our campaign that's in the position, that has the organization and the mission to get this done. And we've actually seen this gap close. We were endorsed by the Washington Post a couple of weeks ago, Emily's List also, and people have paid close attention to our campaign because they know we can win.
You had another message, though, a couple of weeks ago against one of your opponents, Jack Evans, out of Georgetown. Somebody from your campaign said that Jack Evans doesn't really know or care about anybody outside of Georgetown, and there was some suggestion on his side that had a tinge of racial division to it.
That it was code language.
Code language. We had him on. We asked him, what do you think? He says, well, you'll have to ask Muriel Bowser what she meant by that. So, Muriel Bowser, what did you mean by that?
I don't use code words. I think everybody knows that I'm direct, and I think everybody also knows that I have the most support across all wards, across all races. So people who want a fresh start know that our campaign is focused on the future and not the
Ms. Bowser, hold on. I got to
things
stop you there, though. I mean, these words came from either you or your campaign.
No,
And-
uh-huh.
And it was a suggestion that Jack Evans, because he is white, perhaps is not familiar with some of the more African American sections of town. That is
Well,
the
that's
suggestion
not
that was
true.
made by that comment, and you're saying that
That
that's
is not
the,
what was suggested by that comment. Now, if you
what
want
was
to
suggested
believe-
then?
What was suggested is that Jack Evans came to a street in Ward 4 called Kennedy Street that is nothing like the areas that he represents. It is not affluent. It's not sitting on top of a metro station. It does not have daytime traffic. And his comments while on Kennedy Street totally represented that he has no idea what it takes to develop areas like that. And that's what it means. If I want to say something, I say it directly, and I don't use codes. And I am not a person who will divide this city.
So you were
anything
saying
else.
clearly, concisely, and to the point. That's not what was intended by that comment.
I told you what was intended.
All right.
If you have a person who comes to Kennedy Street and suggests that it's just like developing 14th Street or downtown or Georgetown, then you're out of step with what it takes to develop hard to develop corridors.
Muriel Bowser is our guest. She's a councilwoman from Ward 4, and she is aiming for the mayor's office. Other development in the race this week is that independent David Catania is going to run for mayor. Now, I know you're focused on the primary on April
Yes.
Fool's Day, but what do you think of the new addition? If you win the primary, which I know you fully intend to win, then you're going to go up against your buddy David.
Yep, and David and I, of course, we have been friends on the council for 7 years. But we will be prepared to run. If we have the honor of winning this primary on April 1st, I'll immediately turn my attention to getting ready for the November race.
Why would you be a better mayor than David Catania?
Well, I'm not running against David Catania currently, so we'll have several months to talk about
Well,
that.
you can't blame me for trying.
What do you think?
I can't. You're good.
Well, why would you make the better mayor, period?
Well, listen, what people have told us is they want a mayor that's going to be focused, that they can trust, and that really has an eye on the future. What our city is faced with now is just a malaise and a kind of a coasting spirit. We need a mayor that's going to attract really great people across all of our departments to do things differently with public transportation and affordable housing and infrastructure investments in schools. And that's where we are now. We're kind of relying on the successes in the pipeline of activity that Tony Williams and Adrian Fenty developed. And we haven't created our own pipeline in the last 3 years. That's what really got me in this race.
Very quickly, last night at the State of the District message, the mayor his staff attempted to block cameras from covering the speech. Now, eventually, they did relent on it, but there was a big fight down there over whether cameras be allowed to cover the speech. Would that be your instinct as mayor?
Absolutely not. I mean, the reason you have a State of the District is to lay out what the city's been up to and what you've been up to. And if you have to run from cameras, if you have to run from reporters, it's obviously not all well in your administration.
All right. Councilmember Muriel Bowser, always good to have you. It's getting interesting in this mayoral race as we are just...
Let's do it. Let's check us. We have 3 weeks, and actually early voting starts next week. So I'm just imploring everybody, pay close attention to our campaign and really vote for a change in the mayor's office.
Thank you, Muriel Bowser. It's true, early voting starts, but we still like focusing on April 1st because it's April Fool's Day. It makes us happy.
It will be funny for you. I'm pretty sure.
Thank you. Always good to have you. Wow. Ouch. It's 7.
Hey, let's talk April 2nd, or better yet, before that.
Absolutely, we will.
Right.
And yes, we want you on April 2nd, win or lose, for sure.
All right.
It's